Shabbat Parakeh Mishnah Bet. We're in the middle of talking about what utensils, what items can an animal be wearing and go outside on Shabbat, i.e. if the utensils or the vessels or the what have you are considered useful for the animal itself and not adornments or not waste, not considered something that would make the animal considered to be working on Shabbat. Says the Mishnah. Chamor yotzei b'mardat. A chamor, the donkey, can go outside with a mirdat. Bartanura says it's like a small saddle. Umenichin oto ala chamor. You leave it on the chamor kadei sheyitchamem. Apparently donkeys were very cold, and they would leave on. It was like a blanket. You know, there's a in the pictures that I've seen, like the donkey blanket. Bizman shikshuralo. If it's tied to the donkey, and the Gemara says if you tied it onto the donkey from before Shabbat, because if you tried to tie it on the donkey on Shabbat, you'd have to actually lean on the animal, and you're not allowed to lean on the animal on Shabbat. That's what the Bartanura says. You can't tie it on the animal because then you'd have to be somech atzmo b'tzidei behema. You'd have to lean on him. V'nimtza mishtamesh b'ba'al chayim, and that would be using the animal, which you can't do on Shabbat. Remember, he has to rest. Okay, a little bit unusual. I'm going to explain which one is. Zecharim yotzim livuvim. I'm not going to read the Bartanura. Each one will just tell you what they mean. Livuvim means, okay, they would tie a piece of leather, of skin, under the male genitals. Kedei shelo yalu alam nekevot. So livuvim means it was tied in such a way that it couldn't have intercourse with a female. Okay. Rechelot, these are sheep we're talking about. Yotzot shechuzot, kvulot, ukvunot. Shechuzot is, I'll just look at the picture. Shechuzot is with the tail tied up, so the males could have intercourse with the females. Kvulot is with the tail tied down. Okay, kvulot, so that the males cannot get at the females. And kvunot is wrapped in such a way where if they were talking about the sheep, so they would wrap it in such a way in order to protect the wool, so that it would remain clean, because who knows where the animal's going to go, because they want to shear the sheep. They would apparently do this at a young age, so that the sheep would, the wool would grow and it would stay white. Izim, goats, yotzot tzururot. They go, you can tie tzururot, meaning, what they would do is they would have these, I'll just read the Bartanura on this one, tzururot. Dadehen tzururot. They would tie up, they would wrap up their teats. Sometimes liya beisha chalav, they wrap it up very tight in order to dry out the milk. Okay, shemadkim oto b'chozek. Then they would tie this skin, the leather, on very tightly. Upamim, sometimes kosher lehem kis b'dadeim, they would put a little pocket under there. Shalei taftefa chalav b'la'aretz b'yafaseit. So they would just do it loosely so that the milk, not that it would dry out. They didn't want to lose the milk that would drip out. Okay, so that's what the Mishnah says. The izim yotzot tzururot. Rabbi Yossi Oseh B'kulam says all of these is forbidden. Shechuzot, kvulot, and kvunot. Chutz, except for min harechelim hakavunot, except for the rachel, the sheep that was tied up, that was kvunot, that was wrapped up totally in order to protect the wool. Rabbi Yehuda says izim yotzot tzururot liyabesh. Avalo lechalav. So remember we said before izim yotzot tzururot, they would wrap the teats with this leather pouch. So Rabbi Yossi is sometimes to dry it out very tightly, and sometimes loosely in order to catch the milk. So Rabbi Yehuda said yotzot tzururot liyabesh. If you want to do it to dry out the milk, then you can do it. Why? Because you're tying it very tight, and therefore we're not afraid it's going to fall off. Avalo lechalav. But if you tie it in order to catch the milk, you're not tying it very tight by definition because you don't want to dry out the animal. So therefore, you don't want to dry out its milk supply. So therefore, it might fall. That's what the Bartanura says. Okay? For it to dry it out, it's going to stick very well. We're not afraid that maybe it will fall in Rishut Rabim and you'll pick it up. But for milk, it's not going to cling very strong. You're not tying it very tight. Asur. Then you can't put it on. Maybe it's going to fall, and then you'll pick it up and bring it with you in Rishut Rabim, which is an Isur D'Oraita. We'll stop here. We'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. If you have any comments or questions, as always, email me at arspalter@gmail.com.